Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the GamerPod Show. In today's episode, we're going to talk about why the future of Fallout 76 is looking bright.
You're one of them special folks, ain't you?
And we're going to do this by diving into the history of Fallout 76 and games as a service.
Wow. I've got to admit, you have completely defied my first impression of you.
Now, without further ado, let's jump right into it. And before we get started, let me just note down in the comments how you feel about the future of Fallout 76 and games as a service. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, smash that like button and subscribe to get insightful videos just like this one. Jumping right into why the future of Fallout 76 is looking so bright after such a messy launch. But we know other games were even more messier launches than that. Fallout 76 has been out for quite some time now, and even though a lot of what we have today should have been in the game from the start, like vending machines and dungeons, even after multiple patches and bugs fixes, the server still struggles and the game tends to crash every once in a while. Despite all of this, Fallout still has a chance to redeem itself. This is based on past interviews and past video game titles. When this game was first announced, Todd Howard and Pete Hines knew what they were getting themselves into.
Evidently, these online games are hard. They can have some nasty issues. I read on the internet that our games have had a few bugs. I did. I read it on the internet, so it's true. And that sometimes it doesn't just work.
Which explains their disappearance from social platforms after the release of the game. It's kind of like if they just dropped it in his lap and in his lap. Even with all the controversy and failed attempts, they continue to work on the game. They gave us a roadmap showing us things they have planned. The first part was called The Wild Appalachia, and it just recently came to an end. And after recent interviews, it looks like they still have more tricks up their sleeves.
And then Wastelanders, which is a huge update, new main quest, and I am definitely not allowed to talk about that. But I would say it's gonna change the game dramatically.
With E3 around the corner, they'll probably hold whatever big idea they have close to the chest. But they've already been hinting at a PvP type deathmatch coming soon to their game. They might even bring an NPC soon. And whatever happened to that Wolby guy? That guy that was inside like the developer's room in the bottom of the game? And before you say that's just a character that they used while they were making the game, there's some things that you're forgetting.
There's this thing we refer to as Atlas. And Atlas is because there was one guy in the game, we called him Atlas because he held up the world. Because the world that you have only had to be accessed by one player, so they were tightly intertwined. So what we had to do is essentially decouple Atlas from the world so there could be multiple people.
Wherever Atlas went, that's where it was loaded. So for many months, it's like you couldn't go away from Atlas as another player. It's like if you did, you would crash because you're outside the realm of what was actually loaded. So a big effort was just changing that aspect as well. But then,
and on top of that, remember this screenshot? I don't know, maybe I'm just reaching for straws. Now let's look at past games that fall inside the similar category of games as a service. There's a long list of games that we could reference, but we're just going to use No Man's Sky, ESO, and Destiny for right now. No Man's Sky, when first announced, was trying to sell a dream, but when they released, they just sold garbage, not delivering on most of what they said or even showed. But I mean, things like that should be expected at E3. I mean, it's practically a competition between companies. Each company want their games to be the most hyped up, the most talked about. Some want it so bad they are willing to fake an image instead of just being genuine with their games. After some time passed and countless updates, No Man's Sky is a much better game now than it was at launch. Its rating with several gaming platforms has drastically increased since then. ESO and Destiny followed a similar path, with lackluster content and grindy elements, also fixed themselves up over time. And as a bonus, do you remember Fallout Shelter? I'm not saying Fallout 76 will be perfect. It's probably only going to be for the diehard fans. But it will be a much better game tomorrow than it is today. Let me know how you feel down in the comments. Does Fallout 76 still have a chance to be saved, or is it too late? And if you like this episode of the GamersPod Show, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.
Is this really what I have to look forward to?